Hey guys, so in this video I'm actually going to show you how I make my Harry Potter wooden signs. You can also use this technique to make any kinds of signs that you want. First, what you're going to need is you're going to need to get yourself some acrylic paint. And then you're also going to need some paintbrushes or something to use the paint with, some, painting tools. And you're also going to need some wooden signs. All of these things you can actually pick up at Michael's or Joann's or any kind of craft store like that. The first thing that I do is I choose my paint, make a little pile, and I just start painting the base, like the background of what I want my sign to look like. So this one is going to be the platform 9 3/4 sign. So of course I'm painting it red. It's going to be red and gold. So I paint the base, and I think I did like a couple coats of it. It just depends on how transparent you want it and how deep you want the color to go. So then I started doing the gold. I got a metallic gold, and with this one I kind of am being really meticulous about it and really careful and taking a smaller brush to get along those edges and cleaning up whatever, if I got any red on the edges as well. So next you're just gonna let that completely dry. And so I moved on to the next signs. So another thing that you can do is you can put some painter's tape on the backs so that you don't accidentally get any paint on the back. So you want the back to be completely clean. I didn't do that with the bigger ones. I did it with the smaller ones because I noticed that I'm a little bit more messy with those. But you can do it with both. You don't have to do this step. It's up to you. So the next thing I did the same thing with the smaller signs. I painted the base, and so I don't know if you noticed with the smaller signs I kind of have this gradient going on the edges. It's kind of a little bit darker, so I used a base of brown, and then I kind of just put in some black on the edges. So I kind of blended in black, and I kept going back and forth. I put some black, and then I would put some more brown until it was just like kind of blending. And so I just kind of went back and forth until I liked what it looked like. So you guys can do this, and you guys don't have to do this. You can paint it all one solid color. And then don't forget to do the sides as well. So this one is the Green Dot sign. I basically did the same thing. So I wanted it to be a little bit brighter in the center, so I added a little bit of white to make it a lighter green, and then I added some black around the edges, and then I just kind of started blending that out and going back and forth with green and black and green, and I just kept doing it until I liked the way it was looking, and that's when I stopped. So I did that, and then again, don't forget to do the edges as well. And then I did the same thing with the purple one as well. So next, what I did is I used my Cricut to cut out the letterings, and I did this on vinyl paper. So what you want to do is you want to go on your Cricut or your Silhouette or whatever and figure out what you want on it, figure out what you want your sign to say, and then you also want to make sure you measure with a ruler how big you want the letterings, and to make sure that it's actually going to fit on the signs. I'm actually cutting it, and I'm using this cutter so that it's all evenly cut. So next you want to cut out the letters, because you're not going to use that part. You can use that part if you want to, but I wanted to paint it. I didn't want it to just be vinyl lettering. So, because I didn't want it to come up or whatever, I wanted it to last as long as possible. So after you get all the lettering out, and don't forget to keep the middle pieces of certain letters like an R and A, because you need that to go inside the middle. So you want to carefully place it down, and you want to make sure once you get it to the position that you want it, you want to make sure you smooth it really, really well, because you don't want any pockets, any air pockets. Otherwise the paint will get in there. So then you just want to paint it with whatever color you want, and just make sure you do 1 or 2 coats, however, so that it's even, And then you want to carefully peel it off. Just be careful. Make sure you hold on to it, because you could easily mess it up. And it's fixable. You can go back in and you can touch it up wherever you need to with a small paintbrush. And then I'm just using my Cricut tool to kind of pick up the middle parts really carefully. So the next part, and I'm sorry, I just had a circle and I kind of painted that white on the inside. So I let that completely dry, and then I started doing the 9 3/4 and painted that over. And then again, you just carefully peel it off. And if you make any mistakes, just take a small little paintbrush and you just do the touch up. Okay, and so for the next part, you let that completely dry, and then I had like this circle, so I covered the middle. I had measured it out and everything, covered the middle with the circle, and then you want that black out like line around the circle, border around the circle. So I kind of put that, and that's how I did my border. And like granted, you can actually make this all one piece, but I found that when I did that, I made more mistakes and I had a lot more cleaning up to do. So I like to do it in 2 parts instead of 1, personally. But you can do whatever you want. Okay, so that's how I did that. And then I moved on to the other sides. And the other ones were a little bit easier because I didn't have to make any circles or borders or whatever. And it's just the same thing. It's just, you know, you put it on, you smooth it out, you put on the paint, and then you carefully remove that. So I did those with all of them. And there's the leaky cauldron. Okay, and then you just carefully remove all the little, you know, for the D's and the O's and whichever have the little middle parts. Don't forget to put those on, and then don't forget to take them off. So the next thing I did was I let everything dry, and then I used Mod Podge to seal it up. So the Mod Podge is going to actually dry clear, so don't worry about it. You just want to make sure you put an even coat all over it. And so you let that dry. What I did was a little bit overkill. You don't have to do this other step, which was it's a matte clear enamel. You want to use a spray outside. Basically, it keeps out the moisture. So I just wanted to do that extra step. You don't have to do this, or you can only do this. You don't have to do the Mod Podge. You can just skip right to the matte clear enamel step. And so that's pretty much it. So this is how the signs came out. And you can use this technique to make any kind of signs you want. I'll leave links in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial about how to make these Harry Potter signs. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.